is not recording. Yo, I saw it like 2 minutes ago, man. Yeah. Picked it up.
How does the point of wearing this stuff?
Oh, hey. How did I not know, man?
Don't be afraid. Die Bewegung, die beides einer Recht muss. The desire of our two people never to go to war with one another again.
Well, we believe in the same God.
What's going on? Welcome to the Bro Philosophy Podcast, the show that explores perspectives on issues to do with modern society. So to the brothers I ask this, is there such a thing as a happy marriage?
Yeah, man, I think that it's depending on how you and your partner communicate.
Is it?
In regards to your properties, your assets and liabilities. I think if there's clear communication on everything, on every decision, then it should be a happy marriage. I think
Is it?
marriage fails or it becomes unhappy if there's no proper communication on how things will go and how things will work and so forth and so on. Yeah, so that's my take on it.
But what is a happy marriage, though, in your perspective? Perspectives.
Your own perspective. Well, I don't know, man. For me, I'm just generally anxious about it because it's like, growing up, I've just been exposed to broken marriages and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't really have a rosy outlook on things when it comes to that.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Because like for me, I've never seen a happy marriage either, so I wouldn't know what it looks like. That's why I was asking. If you can define one, then maybe I can say
Yes, sir.
if it exists or if it doesn't. Like, what do you guys think a happy marriage is, or how do you think it should be like?
Or maybe we shouldn't say happy marriage. Maybe we can just say healthy marriage.
Healthy,
Yeah, healthy.
Yeah, I know a healthy one exists.
Yeah.
But a happy one is another thing now. So.
Yeah,
But what does it mean? Does it mean
exactly.
that you are
I
always
don't
happy
really
all the
understand
time?
what you guys are saying.
Does it actually mean that you are happy all the time, or you both understand each other, even if there's fights, but you still try to make
You
out
see?
and move out, move
And
on
that's-
from that?
Yeah, you see, and that's why I was saying let's define it first. Like, healthy
Exactly,
and
I have
happy,
the same.
it might be the same. It might be synonymous, but like,
So I guess maybe happy marriage is sort of like a utopian idea, right? Like,
Yeah.
things are happening, you come from work and people is cheerful the whole time. The kids run to you and all of that stuff. So it's like, I would understand that to be a happy marriage. Like, people are satisfied in every angle.
But how often does that happen? It can happen every day.
You see,
sure.
Which is why we were saying that maybe a happy marriage might be unrealistic to think about.
bruh,
Because it's not always going to be happy times.
my nigga, there's no such thing for me as a happy marriage, a happy family, or a happy whatever. I mean, joy comes and goes, bro. Like,
Yeah.
So it's sort of like oxymoron. I guess.
But a healthy one definitely.
Healthy one.
does exist.
yeah, you go
Okay.
through your trials and tribulations,
Yeah.
but you still
But
make
you
it
still
work.
sort it out and
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from the outlook where you were saying you were expectant of bad things to happen, right? So you were prepared for it.
Mm.
yeah.
And with your partner, obviously if you cooperate, there's a better chance that you can go over these hurdles that you might find.
In my perspective, yeah.
Okay. So I guess I understand now. So I think there's a place for a healthy marriage in this life, I guess.
A healthy
There
one,
is.
there is.
I grew up under it, so
Yeah.
I've seen how it's like.
But I feel like everything obviously comes with sacrifices, my nigga. Because people may not want exactly the same thing from the marriage. And I think it's always important for those two people who are getting married or five, I don't know. I mean, this polygamous marriages now or whatever. But like, before you get married, obviously you need to discuss certain things to make sure that you're all on the same page.
Yeah, that's true.
Which brings us to this whole one-up thing.
Yeah, of course. So it's like, I know I'm anxious about it, but growing up, I've always accepted the idea that at some point I'll have to get married, despite the fact that I might be anxious about it. So it's something that I'm willing to try. I don't know if it's the same thing for you guys, or you'd like to hear more about it first, inquire a bit more before you can commit to a marriage, or you're just waiting for the right one.
For me, man, I grew up under a healthy marriage, so I've seen how it's like, and actually something that I would like to have one day. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you need someone to go through life with, a partner by your side.
No.
So I think it's something that I would like to have one day, as I've seen a healthy one. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying this not from, you're just saying cooperation in, what do you call it, in general, and not from a needy perspective, like, okay, I can't do this alone. And, you know, like, right.
Yeah.
We're just checking it out, like, you never know.
I think from the, how can I say it? It's not like I cannot live, I need someone to live. No, it's not because I can live on my own. But I think it's from the perspective of
Teamwork, makes the dream work.
you know, yeah, it's like that.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
It's from that perspective, for me personally. I don't know how others.
Honestly, bro, for me, what I think is marriage has its place, but you don't necessarily have to get married, man, and get to live. But like, if you plan to have a family, it's the best option you have. To have a stable, I don't know how to explain this thing. For your kids, I think marriage is mostly for the kids. I think that's what, who is this guy? Jordan Peterson said as well. Marriage is not for you in most cases. It's for your kids. Because you want your kids to have a stable household, to avoid this whole toxic type of thing where the kids have to go to the father, go to the mother. I mean, it's weird now, man, if you have kids but you're not together.
So, yeah, but then doesn't that make it a dreadful idea? Because it's like, if it's just for somebody else that you're gonna bring to this earth and not for you, is it like a thing that's attractive for people then? Because it's like, I look at women basically, most women would like to get married and they look at it like this very nice thing, right? And not just, oh, okay, well, I have this one person that I can work through life with, and that's all. I mean, it's fantasized to be something that is euphoric, you see.
I think they actually look for stability.
Is it just stability?
Yeah, that's
Well,
what
stability is part of what they are looking for, amongst other things. It's just
Okay.
stability, man. Because, I mean, I don't think they want to go through life going from one nigga to another nigga, and then it's...
But the thing is, bro, like, you can still have a partner without getting married to them, right?
Okay.
You can
So
still
it's-
be together without getting married, and still die together without marriage.
Okay. So we
But
also
not about the kids, though.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
Marriage is mostly for the kids,
Yeah,
not really for you guys. Because you
yeah,
guys can
something
stay
stable,
together.
of course, yeah.
You can stay together and support each other even if you're not married. You know? And then if you feel like it's no longer working, you go your separate ways. But the reason why you have to get married if you want to start a family is because, my man, you can't just have, I don't know, the kids now become both of you guys' responsibility now. You can't just say, okay, now things are not working, so I'm just going to dip.
Oh, I see.
Now you've created this responsibility that ties the two of you together. The kids, in a way, are sort of like a marriage in its own way, because it doesn't matter what you do, you'll always share the link
Oh, yeah,
that
of
brings
course,
you
yeah.
guys together. So it's only fair and it only makes sense that you guys might as well just commit to it. It's almost like a symbol of commitment.
yeah.
Okay. So it's like, I guess, yeah, it's like that, just what you just said now. You know, it reminds me of Onang's issue, right? I mean, she had a tweet, or I don't know, like a public statement that she put out, or in an interview, I'm not too sure, I just, you know, came across it. She seemed to say that she will only enter a marriage if the dude signs a prenup. So I don't know how much you guys understand about prenups, but it seems as though it's just like you get married, but then you hold on to your possessions, and should you divorce, you just get out off it
Yeah.
with whatever it is that you accumulated before the marriage.
Yeah. It actually is an agreement that is signed by both parties into how they will divide their assets and liabilities should a divorce occur, or death, or separation. So there's like various contracts, for marriage contracts. There's increment of property, where everything, even if something that you've owned prior to the marriage, will be part of the, or you jointly own that thing. Let's say you have a property, you bought a property before you got married.
Yeah.
Then once you get married, the property will belong to your wife as well, but it's gonna be, so everything that you have, your assets and your liabilities, will be jointly owned by both of you guys. That's the increment of property.
Okay.
Then there's out of increment of property with accrual. Out of increment of property, if I have a house and then I get to a marriage, whatever is been accrued by the property. It's okay. Let me put it this way: out of community of property without accrual, which means whatever is mine will be mine when we divorce or separated. And then the third one is the marriage with accrual. So if I have a property or assets, then whatever is mine before marriage will be mine. Whatever has been accrued, then we get to share that. Let's say whatever accumulated is going to be shared amongst us. Let's say I have a property I bought a property at 500,000, and then 3 years down the line I get married. Then the more
accumulates value.
Yeah, the accumulates value. Whatever it accumulates, then it's going to be shared amongst us.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So that's how the marriage contracts are divided. So it's important you understand all those things before you get into your marriage. It's very important. I think the main things that divide a marriage are small things like marriage contracts. I think you really need to talk to your partner about which type that do they want before they get to and then they make sure that they understand how the assets and liabilities are drawn divided should anything happen to your marriage. So it's very important actually.
So I guess maybe let's just briefly discuss, these 3 types of marriages that you spoke about now and see whether or not we would like either one. Right? So it's you say the first one was in community
of
property,
property,
right?
yeah.
So let's try to dig deep and understand why people would enter such a marriage. Because there are quotes like behind every successful man is a hardworking woman or whatever, right? So that insinuates that the two are in close cooperation, right? So as to attain wealth or whatever. So I imagine a case where that person might be a housewife, but they're enabling you to accumulate wealth because it's like you're not cooking for yourself, but you're coming back to a cooked meal. So I feel as though that's why such a thing exists, because people feel like, okay, well, I might not be going to work, but I'm helping you out somehow, in accumulating wealth because I'm at home, I'm taking care of the kids, allowing you to do that without any of this to think about.
But my question is now, bro, why do people even need prenups to begin with? Why is there such a thing as a prenup to begin with?
Exactly. Why did Bonang ask that thing from whoever's going to be a partner?
You've seen it.
I think when the people who have assets, those are the ones who need prenups. I'm going to have a prenup if you ain't got anything to lose.
Yeah.
So it's only a thing.
But I think it's because in most cases, man, people just go into marriages for the wrong reasons, man. People don't marry because they want to commit to the marriage and build a family together. In most cases, it's a trend, or a nigga is just trying to marry a chick because the chick is rich and has money. Or the girl is trying to marry a guy because the guy has money. And then 2 years down the line, you guys divorce, and then I take half of your shit because you have obviously something to lose.
Actually, what happened to the billionaire dude?
Jeff
Bezos, yeah.
You see, no?
Yeah. So
you see, that's where the problem is nowadays.
But I think the lady also came out and said she's probably gonna share the wealth with just anybody because she feels like no attachment to the wealth. So she would like now to give it away to orphanages and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's just to spite, because it's like maybe she just wants to make it seem like the marriage was shit. You see, so it's like, now I'm gonna give away all the billions that I got. But while in actual sense she's gonna keep it. But maybe she'll be a humanitarian and give out aid and stuff like that. But
how long were these two people married, bro?
I don't know, man. It seems like it was a very long time, eh? I mean, is it not from like the 90s?
I think so.
Yeah, but then in that case, it makes sense, I guess, man. Maybe they tried to make it work and things just didn't work out, and then it's fine. They separated. But there are people who get married to you, bro, and then when you divorce, they're all bitter and stuff, bro, and actually sue you for your money because they want the money. Turns out the chick was actually cheating on you for years and you didn't even know.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, that's bad. It reminds me of this guy who was playing at Arsenal. What's his name? Emmanuel Eboué. So this dude now, playing for Arsenal, any one of the English teams is great. I mean, imagine people get 180,000 pounds per week now. So it's said that Eboué was illiterate, right?
Oh.
And he married a white chick.
Yeah, I've read that.
So after a while, I guess, they divorced, and then she pretty much got everything. Because that's how the marriage institution is built for some people. It's like, well, most of the things belongs to the woman because she might not be able to do it on herself or stuff like that. It's like I don't know what.
I think even the court decides that
Most of
women
yeah,
will keep
especially
the
if there
house.
was if there wasn't any agreement
But I
before the marriage, right? Yeah.
Nah, buddy, nah. I bought my shit. Like,
Especially if there's no contract in place, the marriage institution is
Yeah.
normally for the woman, right? So it's like she got pretty much everything, and he recalls accounts where he's had to sleep outside.
Jeez.
And this is a guy who used to play in the first team for Arsenal. So now I guess maybe that's what gives people anxiety
You see.
as far as this thing goes, because it's like now they're thinking, okay, well, I worked hard, and then for some reason, well, it did happen that we didn't last, right? Like we didn't go the distance with this marriage, right? And it had to be cut off at some point. But then, is it justified for the woman now to get everything
That's the thing, bro.
that I worked for?
I think, man, people are scared because of understanding or lack thereof. Because I think if you understand different type of contracts and you talk about it with your partner, then there shouldn't be any fears around marriage. It also helps you should divorce happen. So that's what I'm thinking. And I also think people should marry for love.
That's what
Love should be the foundation of everything.
Okay.
Don't go for the assets or for all these things, because that's where you're gonna get a divorce. That's how you get divorced.
But now the thing is, man, how do you know if someone is marrying you for love? Because anyone can disguise themselves.
Yeah,
as
there's a lot of
marrying you for
pretense
love.
nowadays, man.
Whereas those people are actually gold diggers.
Well,
So I guess maybe it feeds into this anxiety that we're gonna talk about. So it's like, I mean, it's probably like one of the biggest problems, right, for people that are 20 years and over. This whole companionship thing, right? You want to be with somebody for some reason, right? For an end goal most of the time, right?
Obviously.
And you feel as though most of the time you get with the person because you want to work towards something, right? And if that is not a given, then that person was false advertising in the first place, because it's like you're being in it probably for love, right? And then if it doesn't turn out to be that, maybe you just had a lot of wealth and somebody just saw the potential in you because it's like they're trying to get out of poverty, right?
You see now.
So I guess maybe, is there a place in society for us to be thinking like that? Or are we now supposed to be tuned right that we all go after love and then there will not be any of this?
That's a difficult question, bro.
Look, I think a society need to separate these things, love and then contract. So there are two separate things. The love part that has to do with loving your partner, and then the contract part that has to do with law and legality and how things will work out. You need to separate those things. The moment there's blood line between those things, that's when you start to think that if I sign out of community of property, I don't love you enough, which is not true.
Yeah.
Love has got nothing to do with the contract. The contract is in place.
But what are you protecting though? Because here's the thing, it's as if you're half expecting for something bad to happen if you're gonna sign a prenup before you get into marriage, because it's like, if you guys are just supposed to live and be together forever, is there a place then for you to assume that it might break up at some point? So
You see now.
because I think I will be anxious getting into such a marriage, especially if my girl, for whatever wealth she might have, says that, because then I'll be like, okay, well, are you anticipating that we'll break up soon?
But I think, man, such things are always a safe option because, I mean, even if you're not anticipating it, there's no guarantees though that the relationship will last.
I guess.
That's the thing.
There's never guarantees in life though.
Yeah, you see, the only time that I have really felt anything positive about contracts is like in the case of a will, right? Like should you, at the point of your demise, untimely demise, right? You get to decide who gets to inherit the wealth,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like, I think there is a good intention in that, in some way, because it's like, most of what used to happen in the African culture is that most of the stuff will be taken by the family, probably from the dad's side, right? So it's like, well, this is our son, he worked for this, so we're gonna take it all. And then now the wife and the kids,
They get to
they have nothing.
Mm.
According to the laws of inheritance back in the day, that's how they just worked it out, and it was unfair, right? So that's a positive when it comes to contracts for me. In this case now, I don't know, man. It's like what I had before, I would like to continue with. And you should know that this is mine. In the event that we split, I scat with my stuff.
Yeah, well, that's
basically
yeah, that's how it should. But
Is there nothing?
That's how it should be.
that's what I feel though. Like if I get into a marriage with a chick
Mm.
and I don't have money and
Mm.
she's more wealthy than me, I can't be fighting now saying that I want what I came into the marriage without.
Mm.
Why am I even fighting for it? It's not mine to begin with. It was not mine to begin with. Why should it be mine now just because I got married to the person?
But let's say now we are more wealthy than the chick. Then how
Even vice versa, bro. If I came into this relationship,
And that's the thing,
with
because
the
it's
guy,
not. I don't know, man.
I'm
It's
dealing with it.
and you live with that. Just being in a marriage, knowing that you have already set bounds to say, well, this you cannot touch.
Look,
It'll be as if you find her on the sofa that you bought a long time ago, and she's just being playful on it. You might just say, hey. Keep it in good condition.
why am I doing it?
Alright.
But the thing is, bro, like,
Because you don't feel like that's your shit.
like, the thing is, the way I see it, man, it's like the hope is that the relationship works out and the marriage works out. You stay together forever, so this
Okay.
doesn't have to become an issue,
Mm.
right? But life happens, my man.
Yeah, that's
And when life does happen, hey man, you're your own person, I am my own person. Which is why I feel like as soon as you people get into a relationship, both of you should be financially dependent before you get married to avoid all of these prenups and clashes.
Okay.
You understand? So don't depend on the other person or vice versa.
But isn't that how cooperation works though? Because it's like you come with what I can't provide, and the other person comes with whatever it is, experience or whatever, right?
Yeah.
To the marriage, right? So back in the day, it used to be like that. The guy is the provider, right? And then the woman is the one that would bring the family together, either by cooking, nurturing the kids, and just making sure that the household is just one piece.
Yeah, but there were no prenups then because there was a specific way of life had a specific way of being. But things have changed now. Women want independence. They want to work as well and have their own stuff. And
But
they can also be
can we say
providers.
that's an inherent feature of women though? Because it's like it does seem like most of the women that I've been exposed to, right, would like to work. That's true, but up until a certain point, where they just like what I would like to chill now at home. Just take care of the kids, and not it being forced on them. They want that. It's just a thing that they would like to do, basically, right? Some, in fact, most of the women that I've spoken to would like that at some point. You see. So it's starting to seem as though they're just reacting to circumstances. We have to work basically because it's like if it's just the guy, maybe he's just not gonna earn enough. According to our, in comparison to what do you call it, our ambitions as a couple and stuff like that. So that's when people start marrying for convenience actually, because it's like you feel as though this life is just too hard to bear. You would like to cooperate with somebody. So you can contend and possibly be the best couple that there is, which is why I feel like people idolize Jay-Z and Beyonce because of that thing, because it's like, they're both working, they're all making millions.
The thing is, bro, like, I'm not so sure if there's such a thing as marrying for the right reasons. For me, that would be for the kids, as I said earlier, right? But people marry for different reasons now. Some people will marry for the power, some for the money, some for just status, So it depends on what your approach for the marriage is. Like, why are you getting married to begin with? If you're marrying for the money or the power, then obviously now, hey, the way you're going to go about it now with the prenups now will become very important.
Yeah.
But if you're marrying for love and stability and for a family and kids, I don't think those things should really be that much of a big deal. Bro.
But still, even if that's the case, even if you are marrying for family stability and everything, but you still need to. I still think you still need to have a contract in place.
In place.
Yes, in the
So,
modern
but
time.
Well, I understand
Yeah,
that. So
no
it's like,
guarantees.
we're gonna try and understand now, like, where this anxiety comes from, because it's like I feel as though these contracts are only there because people feel insecure about their relationships.
I think it's the higher rate of divorcement that is happening in the world.
Yeah.
Right? You pulled out a stat. What was that again?
I think they say 50%.
50% of marriages getting divorced. You're fine. That's you, man. It's me and Chris are good.
Nah, man. I'm not sure, man, if I'll even get married one day. Hopefully I
Is it?
do, though. Hopefully I do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I look at it as a good thing that is worth pursuing.
I do.
I guess I feel as though it should be pursued for the right reasons, though.
But I feel like most people don't even want to get married nowadays, man. It's becoming more and more and more. I don't know how to put it. like a more popular opinion now for people not to want to get married. Some people don't even want to have kids. So I mean, if you don't want to have kids, what's the point of even getting married? Why would you want to get married?
On that issue of not having kids, I don't understand. What is it that people do not want to have kids for? Is it because they don't want the responsibility of having a kid and they would like to travel and all of that stuff? Or is it just, I've heard people who would go like, why bother having kids in such a
You see,
society?
Yeah.
I think it's all of those reasons.
But is it justified to think like that?
It is. It is.
That the society is so bad you can't have a kid in it.
It is. It depends on you, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you have
I
the
don't know,
choice.
man.
You have the choice.
But, well, I mean, do you think like you probably grew up in probably one of the worst circumstances, but do you feel like it was really detrimental to your well-being?
It was.
Was it?
Bruh, like,
Huh.
growing up in a bad environment, bro, will affect you mentally.
Yeah, I guess.
The way you think, the way you see yourself as well, the way, bruh, just growing up in a bad place will affect you in a negative way.
So then do you not think if your parents are doing the most to try and give you like a perfect environment, you
They-
won't turn out okay? So can we now all just have this apocalyptic thought to just say let's not have any kids anymore and then human race just disappears like that? Or is it
Yes,
some
that's
people
what-
should just embrace the responsibility of, you know,
The question
taking care
is-
of a kid until they turn out okay?
The thing is, man, there's no guarantees in life. Even if you, as the parents, are trying the best that you can, you can't control everything that the kids are being exposed to. They will go to school, they'll play with other kids. Those other kids may come from messed up families.
Yeah, but
they'll
then
be exposed to all these things.
exactly, but there should be a way to try and ameliorate, you know, the consequences. Like obviously make it not so bad. Like I'm pretty sure if your kid goes to school and picks up a bad habit, there's a way to deal with it,
There
such
is.
that it's not like so detrimental to a point where it's injurious to the kid.
Look, bro, like based on child psychology or all this, I don't know if it's called child psychology and whatever, right? But it turns out the first early stages of a kid are the most important. How
course,
you,
yeah.
how you,
Okay.
how you
How they
take
start
care-
off,
Yeah, how
exactly.
they start off is the most important. You see, before they go outside and play with other kids, inside the house, how you, I don't know how to explain this. Like the nurture of the
Yeah.
child is the most important thing, especially when they're still young, between 2 and 4. That's what most psychologists say. So that's where you sort of help the child know how to behave and how to interact with the world. And then they might grow up and actually become more secure. It doesn't matter what happens outside or what circumstances they meet. The way you've guided them to grow up will help them to handle whatever situations they meet, right?
So I think at that point it's important that both parents should be there in the kids' life.
They should.
Yeah, that's my thought. Like
They should.
every time.
Yeah.
Because now if they're not there, in most cases people have a lot of psychological and behavioral issues. Issues of abandonment, not knowing how to behave correctly. Maybe the dad was not there. You're raising a boy. They'll mostly take up women features instead of the man. Won't know how exactly to behave as the guy, man. Be tough
yeah, I
when they
see.
need to be tough. So that's why it's always important to have a stable household.
We are actually right on that
Kids.
because I remember. Sorry to interrupt you. We are actually right on that because I remember the Lasizwe. Lasizwe.
The bouge,
Yeah.
the bourgeois,
Lasizwe.
the bourgeois of gays. Yeah, you don't know what this is, like that's what do you call it? I don't know how old he is now. He could be like
I think
21.
21.
Yeah, so he's a gay character most like
Yeah.
that we see on TV most of the time.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it is his show.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you could quickly Google and show him.
Maybe I know him, but just don't know his
I
name.
just read his story somewhere in one of the magazines. The dude actually said that he grew up in a female-dominant environment, so that's why he turned out to be like that.
No, what was it him or was it the brother? Because I think I had seen some stuff. I don't know if it's he's a legitimate brother or it's just like, you know, people just maybe they were playing together. I'm not too sure, but it's like it seemed as though he was surprised as to how Lasizwe turned out. Like, right?
Also, like the guy's gay. Or what? It's feminine. What?
He is feminine. He is gay actually, isn't he? I think on his 21st, there was a video there where he took off his towel, bare naked. There, I was just like, yeah.
Always
Tweeted
gay.
dog like, yeah.
Yeah, but all these
Yeah.
things, you can see now the importance of why, if you have kids, you should get married, bro. To have that stable household. for the
So
child.
wait, I want to understand something here. I think you were onto something, right? Because you were saying that because of how Lasizwe
Turned out.
was brought up,
No,
he turned out that way. Is he the one that said so? Because then it becomes, I don't know, it'll be a bit, what can I say? We can't really account for how he turned out that way, because it's like, if he actually acknowledges that it's his upbringing that made him gay, then I don't know now, can we now say...
It's not weird, because people say you are
Was it
born
him?
gay.
Born with it,
Yeah, so I don't know, man.
Okay. But
I think it's him, man.
But I wonder if it's nurture or genetics, man, that makes people gay. I always wonder about this stuff. Because I think maybe you allow the child to get away. Because like as a kid, you start exploring things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then your parents just like, he's just a kid. Just
No,
let him be.
okay.
And then you don't stop certain things that you're not supposed to be allowing. Then you just allow everything. Then the kid now grows up thinking, it's fine. I mean, maybe I can be whatever I want to be.
Yeah, because, I don't know, man, because it's like, it could be that he was just being sarcastic. You know, probably from hearing people saying that, well, you grew up around women, that's why you're like that. So it's like, I've been on Twitter sometime, almost being angry at something, then I realized, no, they're just being sarcastic, right? I mean, Helen Ziller does that a lot of the times, right? And then only after looking into it, okay, that's what she was doing, right? So a lot of people do that. So I don't know now if that's what his story was, because it's like, I would like to believe that the common narrative now is that people are born like that. Right?
Yeah, but I think now we're moving off track.
No, yeah, of course, yeah.
What were we speaking about though? Like initially, like, is it justified?
Is it
for
justified
you
to
not to
want-
want
yeah.
to have kids?
No, the prenups and stuff.
Yeah, there's that. So it's like, we just sidetracked a bit,
A bit, yeah.
when we were talking about the kids, because it's like, I think it's an entity that we have to factor in when we talk about marriages, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess maybe to add on to that, there's an idea that is being propagated nowadays, perpetuated, right? They'll be saying that there's a lot of people on the planet already, why have kids, right? I think that's one of the reasons that people...
What, overpopulation?
Overpopulation, right? So it's like, I personally do not see population as a problem at this point.
It's becoming a problem though. But not that much of a problem at the moment, obviously. But my point was though earlier, if someone feels like they don't want to have kids, bro, they have a reason for it, obviously. So as long as you can justify why you don't have to have kids, bro, or why you don't want to have kids, it's still your choice, though. There's no law that says you should have kids.
But my fear, man, in all of this is you are working. We are here on earth. You're working to get your assets and your everything. When you depart it, who's gonna inherit your whatever you work hard for?
Your kids, obviously, or your family, or your cousins. It can be your cousins. You know, it can be your close relatives. It can be your wife. It can be anyone.
The thing is,
So
that,
if you don't want to get married or you don't want to have kids, which means whatever you're working for will be
Inheritance by your
inherited by
family.
your family.
It still works out like that.
yeah, well, I guess it makes sense, because it's like,
What about your gene pool though?
My man, your gene pool is up to you. You see, the thing is now, not everyone wants their genes to
to be
be passed on,
propagated,
so they can live forever in whatever way. They die and that's it. They're fine with that. You know, they're okay with it.
Yeah.
I guess it goes down to what you already want.
What you
That's
would
the
like.
thing, yeah. We're individuals.
I guess the thing that I battle against is the idea that there's no more space on this planet, and making it an excuse. If you just do not want to have a kid, it's fine. I would understand if somebody says, because the world is overpopulated, I don't have enough to raise a kid.
Wait,
I would understand.
so are you saying you're against this whole thing of people saying they don't want to have kids?
Because
No, because, it's the because that I'm against, because it's like, if you just don't want to have kids, tell us you don't want to have kids. Not now say it's because there's a lot of people on the planet, because it's like, I personally don't think so. How many people are farming right now? Only a few, but are feeding the whole planet, dog. And there's a lot of unused land. Bruh, take a drive to Joburg. Of course there's the Karoo, we can understand that. You know, you can't really do much with the Karoo, right? But then there's a lot of plains in between.
Yeah.
In between cities, and that land can be used for pretty much anything, housing or whatever, right? It's just, I don't know who makes the decisions and whatever, right? But there's much that can be done for the human population. I don't think that's a legitimate reason, according to me.
Yeah, no, I also don't feel like it. But
The population thing, not for me.
yeah, bro, but my
The
point,
anxiety, of course, I understand that. If you feel like your kid is not going to go into a situation that is conducive for them to grow up well, due to their influences and how burdensome it's going to be for you, I understand that. Yes, that's okay, I guess.
But you know, I always have this one thing at the back of my mind, bro. Why should we have kids?
It's
Why
nice to
should
have
we
a
have
kid.
it? It's nice to have a kid.
Alright, just sort of meaning you there walking around like, yo, yeah.
For what purpose?
Well, I mean, there's what,
Procreation.
and also
Why?
there's potential to. You see, the thing is, I think people are like artists, man, which is why I feel as though women are proud of being able to bear children, right? Because it's like, and they'll even get to the point of calling themselves God, like creators, because they make kids, right? So it's like, the thing is, with having a kid, there's potential to have something that you would want, right? So it's like you can teach it to be what you want, dog, and there's beauty in that.
Yeah,
It's
but
like a clean slate, bro. You just, you just start off like that. It's nice.
it's just a bit weird though, bro. Like, I have this kid, so this kid can be what I want them to be. What if the kid wants to be what they want to be?
No, they can be, but I mean, it's like mostly about profound ideas. Obviously, you're not gonna do something that is, if there are good intentions, right? That's what I mean.
But this is
Not
why
like
I'm
you're trying to tune somebody into, because I mean, we can't run away from that. That's
Okay.
just how it is. You have to bring somebody up somehow.
Okay, so tell me this, man. Like, what is an example of a good intention for wanting to have like a child? Just
Okay.
really one good-
Okay, I'll just lay it out quickly, right? They get into a good school, so they can pick up good ideas, the ones that you approve because you have done some inquiry about it, right? So it's like, I personally would not want to have a socialist kid.
Okay.
So it's like, I want them to have the best ideas, things that will help the planet somehow, right? So it's like,
So being a socialist will not help the planet. Like,
with the way that it's been sold on TV, it looks like it's a bad idea. But it's like, but personally, I would not like that, because it's like, I'm not one for utopian ideas, right? It's not always going to be level ground, right? So it's like, some people will get more than the others, right? So it's like, I would like to teach my kid to be okay with that and not feel like it's their fault that they're in such a situation, right? But they can navigate out of it. So it's like, it's one of the ideas that I would like to propagate and have such a kid. For me, it's like, but I mean, they have the potential to choose. I mean, they'll get to a certain age and choose to be anything anyway. I mean, that happens still, but you want for there to be a chance to teach them somehow. I feel as though that's a beautiful thing. That's why I would like to have a kid.
So what's the verdict, my niggas? Like,
The
in fact,
verdict
before we
is-
get to the verdict, though,
Mhm.
the divorce now, because I think that was the next point that we were supposed to discuss, right? The
Yeah.
divorce. Do you feel like it? Okay. See, now you said something and
Sorry.
sort of got in the way.
Oh no, it's not. You can.
So I was just saying, divorce, right?
Mm.
Why are people getting divorced to begin with? In your idea, like, why do you think people are getting divorced? Because now it's a high.
It's all been leading up to this, because it's like we've been unpacking it bit by bit, right? So it's like we spoke about the anxiety, right, that people have already, and now if they step into a marriage, and it seems like the ideas that they had about marriage before are being proven to be true. If it was as painful as you imagined it, you might want to just step out at the first sight, like when it shows its face, like, oh, that ugly creature is here now, let me go away. You might just say, okay, well, I don't think I can stand for this, I'm being bullied or whatever, right?
So what? So the relationship is no longer healthy. The marriage is no longer healthy. Is that what you? Because I feel like that should be the only reason why people should like dip out of the relationship, right?
I don't know. I feel like maybe if you no longer love a person, then
Like, which means it's unhealthy now, right?
yeah, and
Then you're no longer in love. That's the point.
Yeah, of course, yeah, that's true. So it's like,
But-
so we're going to try and go back to,
But the problem
Okay.
is now, if you have kids now,
there's that.
there's that. as
But I mean, also, there's the person that you're leaving behind, right? I mean, most of the time it's unannounced. You just want to break up, right? And because you've been harboring this pain from being in a marriage with somebody that you probably discovered after a while that you don't like, but they weren't prepared for that. So it's like, that's the one biggest miscalculation people make, because it's like, it's a bit selfish to get into a divorce.
it's selfish.
Especially if somebody is like really in love with you, it is kind of selfish.
But I feel like, man, in fact, it is selfish, bro. Because I feel like, obviously, before you get married to someone, bro, you get to know the person, right? You date for some time. You can't just get into a relationship with someone today, then 2 years later, you're like, let's get married. That's just being naive now.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Even 4 years is still being naive for me. I feel like at least, man, maybe like 6. Like 6
Also,
years.
you're gonna
man.
put some time to it.
But
Let's say 5, man.
But the thing
5,
is,
6.
you can't fully know the person. There's other aspect.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Maybe you can just pick up a few habits in those 3-4 years.
I understand that,
Them.
but I feel like, man, like a relationship has stages, right? There's the part where you just go out, date, like you're just friends at first, like sort of getting to know each other and stuff, and then you're like, okay, now we're dating, we're girlfriend and boyfriend. Then afterwards, there's the whole vacation stuff. Eventually, you move in together. Once you move in together, you start to know really the person, because it's almost like that's how marriage is going to be like, right? You're staying together, getting to know each other, like annoying habits that other person has.
Yeah.
Then afterwards, bro, you have a kid maybe, or you get married first. And then once you're in a marriage, bro, I don't think the marriage would change you that drastically, bro.
Yeah. I agree.
You understand? So the mere fact that you chose to get married after all of that stuff, and now all of a sudden you're like, what can you find out that would be so drastic, bro, that you would change the relationship in such a bad way?
So maybe
I relate to divorce also.
You see?
maybe we can also dig into past societies to try and understand what's going on now, right? Because I do feel like societies from the past most of the time are not so bad, are not so different from what we have now, right? So let's look at the Bible. In the Bible, I think is a social study of that time, around whenever, right? So what happened there is that there's a text in the Bible that actually says that the only reason why people should split, right, should divorce, is if the one cheats.
Yes, I agree with that.
So then everything else is like petty issues that you can work out.
No, I don't think
That's what they were saying.
I don't think everything
it
else
seemed
is
to
petty.
insinuate that. No, I'm not saying like that's true, but that I'm just being the judge.
Yeah.
And just throwing it out there.
For me,
I think even the courts do not allow you to divorce it.
out of petty
Just
stuff.
for the sake of it.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, the things that I can think of in my head that I think people can divorce when this happens. If someone cheats on you, obviously,
Yeah.
if you find out your husband or your girlfriend was a serial killer, obviously you're not safe now. But maybe you are safe because they love you, maybe they don't want to kill you, but you never know. Abusive,
Toxic and all that.
abusive people, controlling people, manipulate you and stuff. Obviously creating a toxic type of marriage.
What if your wife is not sending money to your parents?
That's just petty, man.
It's
Like,
something we
speak,
can talk about.
yeah, you speak to your wife now and try to fix that stuff. You understand
Okay.
what I mean? But like, I feel some other stuff is just petty now, man. Sending money to your folks, my nigga.
It's
So what happens if it doesn't stop?
Oh, you see, like,
Exactly.
not
You see
having
now,
that
that's
option.
like that's like a
Or
different
they
type
don't
of.
put effort.
It's like, you see, most of the time we like to make it seem like witchcraft is like a really big thing. It's the small things. If you're supposed to be sending money to my parents and you are not, and we've spoke about it, and you continue doing that, what are you then? Right?
We're not
There's
even
no-
human beings.
there's no juju or anything. It's just that. That's witchcraft to me, dog.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, if someone is no longer working with you now, man, it's a toxic situation.
Yeah. Okay, I'll throw this in. I don't know if it, if it's the right time, but I saw a tweet. I think I might have shared it with you. You remember that one that was saying like, imagine marrying a guy,
Oh,
that values his mom more than he does you.
Imagine that.
Is there any comparison here, man? Like, it's like those people are different. Like, that's my mom and you're my wife. Like, why even try to compare?
Those are true. Yeah.
but the thing is, my G, like, I feel like most of the things that you will encounter when you're married to the person, you will start seeing signs of that before you even get married. I mean, if your girlfriend doesn't like your mom to begin with before you got married, why would you assume that she'll change after you got
Yeah,
married?
of course, yeah.
That's what I'm
That
saying.
doesn't make
And
sense.
in most cases, it's always the case that they won't completely be lovey-dovey with each other, but you'll see that there's some tension between them. I don't know what causes that, but it's always been there. So it's always there.
So is it like a preconceived notion that, mothers, are they called mothers-in-law? I'm not too sure. But
Mothers in
right, your mother-in-law, right? Should there always be conflict between the two, or is it because they just struggle to get along and that's just how it is?
I think mothers in most cases, bro, are super protective of guys and their kids. Basically, that's just how it is. And if they don't like the person that you want to get married to,
Yeah.
So is that when you come in and then try to protect your wife and just, say... So maybe what the lady was saying is that, should there be a conflict, you don't protect me and you just say what your mom is saying is right, even without any inquiry. Is that what she was saying on the tweet? Or it was just like some naughty stuff there? Like,
And I think that's what she was trying to.
is that what she was... Oh, okay.
In that case, then I think you should be there as a mediator.
Right? Yeah.
Try
Exactly.
to make them get along. You don't want them to fight. And you don't want to take sides.
But do you guys feel like that is enough reason for people to get divorced? If the guy doesn't protect the wife from the onslaught of the mother-in-law?
I don't know. You see, that's why it gets confusing, because it's like, if I'm gonna get depressed and burn out from not being protected in a marriage, it's not a system that I would like to continue being in.
You see, because it's toxic now.
Yeah. You see, so it's, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess maybe that's where things like counseling come into play. Because if you go to some counseling and they tell you like, okay, it's actually very important that you protect your wife from certain things, and then if you don't change from that, there is clearly something wrong with you.
You see. But my
And
name
it's
is
like, and at such a point, just split.
basically. You see now, so hey, there's so many things that can cause that might result in divorces nowadays, man. So my point is now, bro. So what are your guys' takes though, man? Like final verdicts on this prenup stuff?
For me personally, man, I think it depends. Like, at this present moment, I don't even have assets. So why would I go through with signing the prenups and stuff? But should I acquire some assets along the way? I'm gonna talk to my partner about it, see if she is willing to go which type of contract she would like to go with. Then we'll take it from there. I think it's better to protect each other these days, man.
You see, so with what you're saying now, because I think you can actually make a decision based on an idea. If you feel like you're gonna make more money than your partner, will you still sign a prenup? Because it's like, it could be based on potential as well, right? Although it's clearly something like what we talked about with open relationships. Because in your head you are thinking that you're probably gonna get a lot of partners and then you end up not getting any. It becomes unfair for you, right? So it's the idea. Are you with the idea of prenups?
Are you? That's
Right,
what,
yeah.
In fact, that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Are you for prenups or against?
I'm for
And
prenup.
why?
I'm for prenup.
There's no love in this world. Eh?
As I've said initially, that you must be able to separate the two, the contract and the love. You love the person dear with the whole life, and you want the person to be in your life, go through life with. But at the same time, you must the contract needs to be in place.
So
to
is it-
protect yourself.
Also, it's such a safe thing to do then.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Because
I
there are
love
no
you.
guarantees in life.
I love you, but then there's potential for bad things to happen.
Yeah.
So should that happen, I get to keep my assets and you go your own way.
Yeah,
With
but
whatever
you
it
keep
is
yours.
that you have.
Yeah.
Right? And nobody be bitter about that. And if I'm kind enough, I might actually give you stuff because we shared something.
Yeah.
Right? In that, so it's a safe thing to do.
Oh, wait.
Right? So I guess maybe if society is taught to look at it that way, it won't be a bad thing. It's just that most of the time it's like,
In fact, society teaches people to say, if you marry out of contract, you don't love your partner enough,
exactly,
or you're
yeah.
holding back your feelings or whatever. So
Or
you
yeah.
are not fully invested. So
Or you're anticipating for there to be a bad thing.
exactly.
Right? So it's like,
From
you
the
don't
outset.
trust me then. You see.
Yeah, but I don't think it has anything to do with trust, man. But it's just, this thing is this.
It's the same thing to do. So it's like, now that you guys are talking about it, I might consider it. Like, but before this conversation, I had exactly what the society thinks about prenups.
Nah.
I thought it was
takes out
like,
the
yeah, it takes out the flavor of the marriage because it's like now you're thinking that we're gonna crash and burn at some point.
It's just a backup type of thing, bro. Like, just in case things do happen. Obviously, the intent is not that we're going into the relationship with the idea that this stuff is not going to work anyway. But if it does happen that it doesn't work out, we have a backup plan to avoid confusion and bitterness. Because then now you get married and you share these things 50-50. And then you break up. The other person didn't come with anything. Now they leave with half of your stuff. You see?
Yeah.
Especially
that's what
if
ever happens.
they are the ones who cheated.
You
So
see?
it's like, I guess maybe, think about it, man. So we've heard of certain instances where somebody falls out of love with you and they kill you for the inheritance.
You see?
Yeah.
You see? And it happens a lot.
What the hell is that? Like, it's, why don't you just tell me, like, yeah?
Witchcraft.
Bruh, people are witches in there. I'm telling you. But hey, man. Yeah, but I think it's safe to say that we all agree now.
I think we can love a person, but obviously love alone is not enough.
Love it.
So
Yeah, I
that's
guess.
why the contract needs to be in place, so that you should protect yourself should you no longer love the person, you
Yeah.
just protect yourself.
Exactly. It's gonna protect you.
Yeah.
And like I said before, right? If love is in place and I feel like you're well, I sympathize with you, I will probably share some wealth with you. But that's based on how
Things
we
end.
split. Yeah. So it's like it's safe because it's like I'll get everything that I want and then I'll decide what I do with my
Yeah.
with my things.
I feel like that's the fair thing to do, you know.
Yeah.
You decide if you want to
Exactly.
give this person.
If you
something,
just became unbecoming at the time, I feel as though I'll not give you anything because it's like you do not deserve.
But I think there are times where it's justified for the person to get some stuff from you. Like, let's put it like this now. Let's say your wife was a CEO of some big company, right? And you starting your own stuff. So maybe some engineering firm or law firm, whatever, right? And then you have kids together and they decide to support your dream, to make your dream a reality by giving up their dream and then to take care of the kids so that you can make your career a success. And then eventually they won't make money, but you'll be making a lot of money for the family. Then things don't work out, and you obviously now have more profit than her, right? In that case, I think it's justifiable. Like, it's justifiable for you to give some money to her when you guys divorce. Because obviously she's...
Okay, there's a contract in place. I just want to see how
It depends on
strong these contracts are.
Contract.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, is there potential for you to challenge it in a court type situation and say, okay, well, I understand what the contract says, but I did this and that to help this guy accumulate wealth.
That's what I'm saying.
But if,
Can you?
You can.
in
You
that,
should
in
be
that
able.
case, if there's written proof of that, then I think you can.
But why
Challenge,
does
you
it?
can challenge it.
But why do
You need to keep the proof.
written proof?
Unfortunately,
Well, there's a contract in place now because it now says.
Let me just ask first.
Yeah.
If you guys are married, right? And then the wife just decides, you guys are speaking, right? You're telling me everything that you guys do in the relationship will be written down somewhere.
Well,
so you guys have proof of it.
when it doesn't happen, but
Well,
then
yeah.
when it gets to a point where you guys are divorcing, then the court will need the proof and you don't have it.
But okay, let's go back to the thing where we say you're marrying out of community of property, right? And that's like signing a prenup in some way, right?
Yeah.
Can you challenge that contract then?
That's
Because
what I'm
if
saying.
it now says you signed and say that whatever is mine will remain mine, right? And whatever I accumulate while in it, if I have proof that I accumulated it, it's still mine, right? That's what it is. Is that what it is?
Yeah, there's
out of
there's
community of property.
two types out of control of property. There's one that is without accrual. That one,
yeah.
everything is yours. But
Okay.
the one with accrual, you get to share whatever you've accrued, right?
Oh, okay.
together.
So without accrual, right?
Without
I
accrual.
stay at home and I chill. I take care of the kids, right? In order for you to pursue a dream that allows you to buy a Lamborghini,
You see.
right? What then happens? Can you show proof for that to say
You see. There's no.
I helped you out to do
Yeah.
that because there's cooperation in there?
You see.
Yeah, it's a difficult one.
That's what I'm
But I
saying.
still say the court's going to need the proof.
But you can't have proof of such
What
things.
kind of
man.
proof? Because it's like, I guess maybe emotions are some type of proof.
No, but I think.
And you can go there and say like, well, I mean, I was at home and taking care of the kids. That on its own cannot be challenged. That's my proof.
No, but
Can it stand?
that's what I was going to say. Because, like, I mean, you can ask the person who has the Lamborghini, is it true that this person did what they're saying they did to support you so that you can get where you got? If the person says, yes, it is true, isn't that enough proof? They both say it happened.
But if they have water in their
But
heads,
this
they're
is a
probably gonna say,
contract.
nah.
But then there's a contract in place.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's
is there
a bit
potential?
tricky.
Because I understand even with wills, right?
Mm.
Like, should you pass on? This is what I want my wealth to, how I want my wealth to be distributed, right? There's potential to challenge that. So I just don't know with this.
I think there should be. I think there should be.
Because if you're going to give all your wealth to a mistress, the kids can challenge that and they will win and they'll get some stake off of that. Alright? But then now in this case, so then are they contracts then if you can challenge them? It's tough.
Yeah, it is tough.
That is a tough thing.
So,
Uh,
so what's your verdict? If you had to get married one day, which one would you go for? Which contract would you go for?
My man, I feel like whoever I'm going to get married to, bro, is possibly going to be someone that I know very well first, right? And then I think that will inform the type of contract that I decide to go with. It all depends, because at the moment, man, I'm not sure what I'm going to get married for. Is it maybe I'm going to have a child with this person and then realize that maybe it's a safer thing to do for me to just, for the kid, to get married for the kid? Or am I going to be one of those lucky people who date someone and really likes that person and that person somehow happens to like me back in that way?
With pure intentions.
With pure intentions as well. You see, that it's hard to know.
And that you cannot know.
You can never know. But I feel like for me, the best.
It's safe, man.
Yeah.
That thing is safe. The contract is safe.
Yeah.
I think the one I'll go with, my man, is the one for where both of us come in with whatever it is that we come in with, right? And then when we break up, I leave with my stuff, you leave with your stuff, but whatever accumulated, while we were still together, we shared. That.
I guess, I think I'm actually going to have a conversation with whoever I'm going to marry, right? And say, do you really have an attachment to the things that you accumulated before? And if you do, we're going to do that thing, but with accrual. Because it's like, for me, most of the time, I find that I'm not really attached to material possessions, right? Like that. So it's like, I mean...
you might be, my nigga.
But then
it's your house at stake.
Yeah, you see, and if they're going to take it all now, that's bad, right? So it's like, I feel as though I am going to sign a prenup, my nigga.
You know what kind
just to be safe, just to be safe.
What did Ye say in that song about prenup?
What song? It's possible
Yeah.
that I don't know.
Kanye.
He said something about a prenup.
Yeah.
In which song?
I don't know, can't remember. But I saw something fun on Twitter. There's a guy, forgot his username, but he said that fellas, as soon as get married, sign a prenup. And then some other lady commented that no one trying to take away your photo of evil. So so I think for me, man, out of community with accrual. It's much better that way. You come whatever we have, and then whatever you accumulate once we are together, then you get to share that should something happen. I think it's the safest way. So
And you, Farah, you still haven't told us which one you
Yeah, no, I'm gonna sign a prenup because it's such a safe thing to do.
But which one? Which one is...
Yeah, the one with accrual. Like, whatever it is that we have afterwards, then we can split halfway.
yeah. That's good. Yeah, okay. That's it for today's episode. I know we've gone astray.
We have it.
But yeah, that was the aim of it. See you on the next one.
Alright, so like and subscribe, eh? Peace.
Hey.